I'm 29-year-old female, almost 30, big 3-0. I have anemia, means you have low adrenal function, which is obvious, and have for most of my life. Please, any advice on how to get my blood levels up, and also have hypothyroidism, but recently stopped taking the medication for that and started a vegan lifestyle. I crave salt. Well, first of all, we'll go backwards. I crave salt means the same thing as I have anemia, meaning you have weak adrenal glands and you're not metabolizing some of your minerals, particularly iron. But that's the adrenal glands. And of course, that's why you crave salt, because your sodium's out of balance and your sodium potassium pump. So again, that's going back to your kidneys and adrenals again. You know, you'll find these symptoms are close-knit to right where people are having all their problems. So take off after I clean my liver up, you know, maybe clean my spleen, but get my GI tract, get my adrenals up, get my kidneys cleaned up, you know, use a glandular on your adrenals, maybe a 400 if you're real low blood pressure. How low is your blood pressure? Remember, your diastolic bottom number should be 60 to 70. Take that in consideration when you're looking at the top number. 120 over 60, textbook. You can have 120 to 130, 60 to 70, you're within a pretty good range. Outside of that range, too low or too high problems. Crave salt. When anybody craves salt, you know immediately their adrenals are down. Immediately you can go to that. And if they're low in iron, adrenal glands. Mineral utilization, their minerals are off because their adrenals are off. But what comes before that? Absorption, and before that, digestion. So all these things are essential in helping people get well. But this would be an easy case to fix up there, Karen. Thanks you so much, sweetheart, for calling in here, or writing in here. But get this, get your adrenals up and your kidneys filtering. This will help the anemia. Believe it or not, we're going to the adrenal glands for something you would associate with the liver. Good afternoon, Dr. MORSE. I am anemic and I am a vegan. Let's go. We just talked about this morning about anemia related to adrenal glands, and oh no, that was with Jen B. You know how that relates to iron and hemoglobin hematocrit. Again, you're going to clean up the liver. You're going to clean up the spleen. Don't forget the spleen, and you're going to get into the adrenal glands. That's where you address anemia. But you're also going to get the kidneys filtering, you're going to get the bowels cleaned up. You see what I'm saying? You're going to go down that whole road because you want to take a systemic approach to any problem that you have. Because when you just like you say, you can't just go to one area and you're going to fix the liver and deal with anemia. Right. No, because the adrenals deals with iron metabolism and the spleen cleans the blood and refurbishes red blood cells. So you see why we're going after all these areas, and the deeper you clean, you're going to end up cleaning your bone marrow. So you see, all these things are important to good healthy blood, good hemoglobin hematocrits, good liver function, good utilization of nutrients. I have been diagnosed with aplastic anemia for the second time in my life. I believe it is an autoimmune because it responded to immune suppressive therapy and steroids the first time around. Well, let me go back and give you another definition of that. Adrenal glands. Why? Iron. Look at the adrenal glands and over 25 steroids for the utilization of different metals and minerals. And you'll find iron is one of them. You'll find that when you have low red blood cells and low, but I will say that we're going back to the bone marrow here, and the bone marrow, you never want to have bone marrow problems. It's a deep issue there. That's suspected in this, of course, and so you, let me go here. You do not want to take these drugs again, exactly, because you know what they went through. She tosses a little bit about that. She has been eating one piece of organic meat to keep her red blood cells up. I can't say I blame her, because of blood transfusions, that's not fun either. But at the same time here, sweetheart, get into your adrenal glands. Start, clean out your liver, clean out your spleen. I've got bone marrow herbs for you to help build the bone marrow up. And go after that. Our Ultimate Immune is a great bone marrow builder. And really go after that. Go after your immune system. I have a really good immune formula too. Just my immune formula. I don't use it much, but I tell you, a very powerful formula. I really love it. So you can use the immune formula and get in there and move your lymph, because this is why you lose your immune system, of course, and bone marrow is your lymph. So you want to go in after that and take off. I need the blood, but I do this, meat and fruit. Just what you got here, meat and fruit and berries and melons. That's just what I would do. Just stabilize your red blood cells. This is a time where I would recommend that. Just for a while, as I can get, you fix all your other stuff, get your red blood cells, get your iron, hemoglobin, hematocrits, get all those up, then you'll be good and you can drop the dead animal. Right now, that's okay with me. So we want to get your bone marrow back in shape. Keep in mind, though, sweetheart, that your lymph system chews up everything. And it's your lymph system that's chewing up the bone marrow. So you've got to keep that in mind, fixing that while we go in and we have herbs for bone marrow. We have things for spleen and livers, and we can clean up these organs. I don't have a picture of your eye. I mean, I see your eye here, but real hard to see, sweetheart. And every day I hear something new out there anyway, names for this, names for that. I'll tell you what, whenever you're dealing with anemia or anything related to that, like sickle cell and all this, you're going to go into your bone marrow. This is number one. You're going to rebuild and build up your bone marrow. Well, this is where the ultimate immune, but I've got another formula coming for bone marrow. There are Chinese formulas out there for bone marrow, so you want to get into your bone marrow and start building your bone marrow up. But you also want to keep in your mind what could be breaking down bone marrow, and you're going to go to acids and you're going to go to the lymph. So you can increase blood flow to bone marrow by using a lower circulation. You want to clean up the liver, clean up the spleen, no question about that. Get your kidneys filtering, get the adrenals on top, getting the kidneys turned on and start filtering the lymph. At the same time you're fixing why you're having a problem, you're also going to come in and enhance the cells in that area. So building up the bone marrow would be very key. You might do a little thymus, do a bottle of thymus, or do some thymus thumping here to enhance T cells, stuff like that. But you want to get into the bone marrow and work with that and detox that little and this is a little 5-year-old, so she's got some serious genetics already at 5 years old, especially dealing with bone marrow stuff. If you have low iron and anemia, I would say that you could pump some green drinks, wouldn't hurt you, and that would invigorate the blood. So you could do the dandelion greens, the parsley, the spinach, beets. That's going to clean and enhance and give you a lot of good chemistry. Well, what specific foods, diet quality do you advise for a person whose problem is anemia? You know what? You could pump some greens, of course, like dandelion and spinach, but definitely your beets with high iron. But the reality of this is to clean out your liver, clean out the spleen, get your GI tract cleaned up, get the lymph moving, of course, and perk up your adrenal glands, especially when you're dealing in the blood. People don't realize some of the steroids dealing with hemoglobin and things. So you really want to get the adrenal glands healthy in this process.